Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. And first of all, apologies for being. I was quite late today. I was researching up some stories, taking a look at things, and then the time went and I had to restart things, reboot things a few times. So apologies for that, for starting a bit later than planned. It is now 11 minutes past 11 p.m. at night here in the UK, and I normally start at 11. So I'll be going for 10 past the hour. Part of what did someone's saying Hoagie is stunned, speechless. Oh, on what? Hoagie is stunned, speechless. Well, actually, you're very intuitive, because let me tell you, I don't know what is going. We've got an election right now. I don't know what is going on with the Labour Party, but some people are describing it as deranged. Let me just throw in my sixpence worth. The Tories, as we know, are dreadful. Yeah, dreadful. 14 years of just beyond incompetence and social sabotage, etc., and just all the rest of it. As we know, really, really, really bad. They are currently over, I think it's currently 27 points or something like that behind Keir Starmer, who is the leader of the Labour Party, at least at the last count. Some have him even further ahead. And what has happened recently now, I've put the links to these videos just so you get a bit of context. I'm going to be opening the show with this, pull a few cards, and then I'm going to get into your questions and stuff like that has already come in. Oh, and look at this. It says Trump found guilty on all 34 accounts. Oh my God. Extra news coming. All right, let me just quickly get in this thing. Anyway, do you remember I said there will be lots of shocks and surprises this year? Lots of shocks and surprises on the internet. Anyway, they said someone called Diane Abbott, who is one of the stalwarts of Labour, one of the first black MPs of the Labour Party. I mean, maybe even in Britain. She was voted in 1987, and they said that she can't stand because there was a disciplinary thing, etc. There was a big row and argument, issues around things with anti-Semitism, etc., accusations, all of this stuff. She apologized, underwent training, etc., all of these different things. And the Jewish community has reached out to her. She acknowledged, her mistake. And, she is a very well-respected and loved politician in Hackney North constituency, which is where I am. The whole thing is, let me just get this sixpence in, and then I'm obviously going to have to respond to the Trump stuff, which I'm seeing is coming in the comments. The point is that there is a clear double standard that's been applied. There have been other male Labour candidates who've said very unsavory things and proper anti-Semitic tropes. So she wrote a letter and she was talking about graduations of discrimination, etc., and stuff like that. So she was suspended. The investigation has taken over a year when it should only take months. Keir Starmer said that she couldn't stand or whatever, or he couldn't comment on her because the investigation was still ongoing. It concluded in December 2023. Yeah, so that was a brazen lie. She was given the whip back, which means she was allowed back in the party, and then she was told that she wouldn't be able to stand, and it's caused a huge furore. But to make it even worse, I find out today that what is a candidate for Labour? What's she called? Oh my God, I've just written down. I'm in such a flap about it because I'm just like, what on earth is going on? She's called what's she called? She's called Fazia Shaheen, and she has apparently just been suspended for liking something 8 years ago, which was a comedy sketch. I've not had a chance to see it. Comedy sketch put up by an American called American Jewish guy called Jon Stewart. Apparently, he's a big comedian. You might know who he is. Something that apparently a tweet she liked about 10 years ago. She's apparently been suspended because of this. So I'm just like, what? Listen. I've never been sure about Keir Starmer. I've never been excited, you know, about him or whatever. But now he's really showing some true colors. And the fact that these are women and women of color, and they are being targeted in this way, is outraging everyone. So I just needed to get that off my chest. If you want some context, there's links to the news channel articles talking about this. Now, let me just scroll down here. Look, I've barely even had a chance to look at my notes. Let me click up on what you're saying. So here, Patricia is saying Don is done. And then someone says here, I would prefer to see Trump receive all 4 years as a sentence. So what has this just come in? Now, remember, folks, what I said for ages. I said I've never seen Trump duck l'orange going to jail. Do you remember? I said maybe house arrest or something like that. Let's see what happens. Let's see what Venus will potentially bring. Do you remember I said with his Jupiter Venus dasher, which starts in September, but the energy of it will start building at the end of August. We will see what his Venus in the 12th house, which deals with prisons, by the way, and hospitals and exile and stuff like that. We'll see what that will bring to see if there's actual an incarceration. But the fact that he's been found guilty in of itself is a strike for justice, which I'm sure you will agree. So what you're saying here, so yes, guilty, says always strength and joy. Let me scroll up as well. Well, let's see here, because this is a breaking story for me. Trump's guilty on all charges. Here we are. And then Trump guilty on all 34 accounts, says Kat, and that was Jenny W. Oh gosh, don't freeze. And then someone saying here, there he is, which is obviously my delay. Let's see here. And then look at that. So Veronica Anderson saying, thanking God from Atlanta that justice prevailed today. A vote for democracy. Well, as you know, I've been calling him what? Crispy duck l'orange. He's certainly well fried now. Let's see. So yeah, people are very happy in the comments. This for me is just is a breaking story, but anyway, so I'm just a little bit in a flap over what is happening with Labour. So just remember what I've been saying, just to remind. Now, look, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. You guys know this stuff already. But for anyone who's new, and welcome, and please, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe and share all of that kind of stuff. Now, as you know, I've been saying that Pluto is going through sidereal Capricorn. Yes, in Western tropical astrology, they say it's going through Aquarius. But in Vedic astrology or Neo-Vedic astrology, which I do, it follows the true placements of the stars astronomically. So astronomically, the body of Pluto is going through Capricorn. Capricorn deals with government, all the systems of government, etc. This is why as well that very often I say Pluto takes around about 250 years to go through. But one of the energies I've been talking about is that what the Pluto action does, it brings up all of the dirt and the gubbins to the surface. Also as well, Pluto in Capricorn can have a very fascist streak as well, and is very authoritarian. So we're seeing that, you know, particularly with this purge and all this stuff going on in the Labour Party. I don't want to drag on about that too much. Watch the clips below if you're interested. Lena and I have already been talking about this because she's outraged as well. She's like, what? Anyway, So what is Pluto is bringing up all of the stuff. Now, of course, from what I understand, he has been charged on all 34 counts. It remains to be seen whether or not he will spend time in bars. Yeah. As you know, as I've said, I think others have said it as well. I've not seen him going to conventional jail. I could imagine maybe something like a house arrest, if they even do that at all. But the whole point is he has been found guilty. So that is a form of justice, of course. One has to see as well what happens next, because anyone that, of course, votes for Trump, they will knowingly be voting as well for a convicted felon. All right, let's just have a look through here. Let's see. 3 Labrador judges recused themselves. Can you read on Sean Combs? Oh, and the challenges he's facing. Oh my God, let me tell. The P. Diddy stuff, just outrageous. Will the waspy women get the compensation they deserve? Oh yeah, some astrologers are in. How is the jury in New York getting on? Do coach solid? Oh, look, funny here. So Nick Minks was asking, how's the jury in New York getting on? Do the cards show nerves, debates, or a possible solid outcome with plenty of guilty verdicts? Well, that's just been shown, hasn't it? Guilty on all counts. Mexico questions. Let's see here. Neptune. Delhi hit a temperature. Oh, wow. Brunson lawsuit. Right. All right. Let's go. Let's go. First of all, what I'm going to do is I need to do a Shakespeare's opinion on Keir Starmer. Never been a fan, but now I'm like, nah. You know, I'm not going to see him basically target women and women of color in particular in this way. I think it is just disgusting. And everyone in Hackney and many Labour voters are saying that they're not going to vote for Labour now. You know, they're going to vote for Green Party or something like that. I'm thinking I'm going to vote either Green or maybe Monster Raving Loony Party as a kind of a protest vote anyway, which is something we actually have in the UK, by the way. I didn't just make that up. The Monster Raving Loony Party is something in British politics. What does the Bard think of Keir Starmer? Never thought I'd be asking the Bard about a Labour leader. Let's just see. Let's have a look. Ha! Says here, there's 2 of you. The devil make a third. From Henry V, part 1. And it says here on the next page, his curses and blessings touch me alike. Their breath I not believe in. Henry VIII. You see, the Bard never fails. Everyone is talking about what a liar he is. And I've been quasi paying attention, but now this is an election year and it's really not looking good. Many people are disgusted, including myself. I'll stop banging on about it now. Let me get into some of the questions, because I'm literally just learning all this stuff as I've been seeing. So, okay, Nick Mink says some astrologers are indicating around the 6th of June there could be some turbulent energies. Do you agree? Yes. So why will there be turbulent energies? Well, first of all, look at the world. Look what's going on. Look what's happening in politics. It's just drama every day of the week now, isn't it? We see some justice here with Duck Larange, having to face account. I mean, guilty on all 34. That's pretty slam dunk, isn't it? But there's something very important that's happening on the 1st of June. Uranus is going to move into sidereal Taurus. Yep, Jupiter is already there. You've heard me talk about Jupiter. Jupiter moved in on the 1st of May into sidereal Taurus. On the 1st of June, Uranus will move in. Whenever Uranus changes signs or any new sign he goes into, he always causes ructions, shocks, and surprises. So to put it into perspective, when Uranus moved into sidereal Aries in 2016, now remember, Aries also deals with impulse, pioneering, doing new things, but it is also associated with rash decisions or things maybe not being thought out so well. Yeah. When Uranus moved into sidereal Aries, that's when Brexit happened. It's also the year, of course, 2016, yeah, Orange. So what that means is we're going to be going to a new kind of phase, particularly as Uranus will be sitting in the Nakshatra Kritika, which is, it's ruled by the sun, but it is known as sharp and dreadful. Yeah. I know, not the most optimistic kind of thing, but it also deals with ritual purification and purging as well. So we're going to see lots of purging things going on, things being cut out or put in, changes. It's sharp. But also as well, I think this is we're gonna be seeing more critical viewpoints from the electorate as well. So just to answer that question there, I mean, there's so many more things. There is some, you know, there are some, when Uranus was here, I mean, it does have connotations with what happened with World War II, but I don't want to spook people out too much. But let's just say that this is, again, more kind of earthquake-like. But remember, it's not just the physical earth. Taurus is an earth sign. So yes, we've been having the earthquakes. Iceland volcano has erupted again. But this can talk about political earthquakes or political landslides, shocks and surprises in the foundations of things. But let's not forget as well, Uranus does also bring opportunity, liberation. I think this is also a time when people are going to really start standing up for their rights and their values, because Taurus is also about rights and values. Uranus is about rebellion and liberation. So I think we're going to see more and more, particularly with so many of the world's population, 49% of the world's population in elections this year. We're going to see a lot of stuff. All right. We'll save a bit of the Trumpy stuff for a little bit later on. One thing I do want to get on here is Mexico. So Manuela Orchid was saying there are elections in Mexico, I heard, and many candidates recently just got murdered. Oh my gosh. One candidate just avoided an attempt. Do you think it will be a positive outcome for Mexico's elections? Thanks so much, Hoagie. One day you have to come to London and would be delighted if you would sign my book. And she said her daughter got it for you. I would love to do that for you. So if you're ever in London, I would sign your book personally. But let's get to your question here. Let's talk about Mexico. And then I see someone, and then we're going to need to talk a bit about P. Diddy. Oh my God. The stuff that is emerging. So remember, like I said, Pluto makes all the grease and the grime come up. Yeah, that's what Pluto does, particularly because it's Capricorn, which also deals with the powerful, the establishment. And P. Diddy is also a very establishment figure. Let's see what's going on though in Mexico elections. Let's pull the camera down. And apologies again for being a little bit late, but really, I mean, this is jaw-dropping stuff that's happening in the Labour Party right now. But you know, Duck L'Orange getting his just desserts, huh? Little drizzle on the sizzle. Let's see when they'll declare. Right, Mexico. What's going on with the energy of Mexico and the elections? Mexico. And have you guys seen as well that Alito is also refusing to recuse himself? Very interesting. All right, so reading on Mexico, and they get 3 major arcana, which is significant in a 5-card spread. Straight off the bat here, look, we see, battling. Mexico is battling, fighting. I think this is largely to do with the whole democratic process and just the fight and struggle that is going on within the country for democracy, you know, itself. This can also show the candidates literally having to defend themselves from all different vantage points of attack. And of course, there have been assassinations and stuff like that as well. So I think this is democracy and the candidates literally fighting for their lives. If we look in the obstacle position, we have the strength card here, but the obstacle position, it can be considered reverse. when the strength is the right way up, this can deal with virtue. Yeah, as you can see here, here's the woman here. She's not using any force to tame that lion. It is tamed via her dignity, her virtue, and her access to the higher realms, as can be seen with the figure of 8 of infinity above her head. However, when the card is reversed, this is different. This is a violation of that. It can deal with bestial behavior, or just behavior that is not dignified or of a higher standard. So of course this would be talking about, you know, these killings, sadly. Oh, it's just terrible. If we look here in the middle card symbolizing what the reading is all about, here we can see this is, you know, patriarchy. This deals with male power, but not just that. You see it is the warlord. This is also Aries energy here as well, which deals with what? Conflict. And look at the blood red robes. So for me, this looks like maybe some of the cartels, etc., that may be involved in some of these assassinations, or it could be corrupt opponents getting rid of rivals that they don't want to be there. However, the Mexican voting people need to take a leap of faith. This is really going to be a leap of faith, and trying to you know, take things forward in a bold new way. And here we have the Justice card as well. So hopefully legality and justice will prevail in the end, although it is very challenging at the moment. We'll just have to see how it goes. But I think it's going to be choppy, yeah, especially with that many people being bumped off. Right. So there's that. Let me just put a tick next to that. Let me find my pen. Literally, I have a pen here on the end of a string because I'm always moving around and I can't find my pens. So let's just do, so we know that Trump found guilty. We'll go into that in a minute. Mexico. Let's look at P. Diddy. Yeah. Let's look at P. Diddy. Now, I've not really wanted to look too much into the smuttiness and the slime of it all, but my God, poor Justin Bieber, eh? Just, absolutely exploited and used. So Catherine has asked, Catherine Winston, hi Hogarth, can you read on Sean Combs at P. Diddy, known as, and all the allegations he's facing, as well as Jay-Z's implications in these allegations, what Jay-Z is? Well, if there will be charges forthcoming for them, and will they leave the country like Russell Simmons did to avoid being brought to justice? Thanks. Let's have a look. Let's read on. So Jay-Z is implicated as well. But you see, what I want to talk about as well is the wider context. Do you see how the powerful are being exposed? Yeah. Saturn is in sidereal Aquarius, and Saturn does deal with karma as well. Yeah, does deal with karma as well. All right, P. Diddy, maybe by extension Jay-Z. But let's see, what's the energies, what's going on with P. Diddy? Will he be charged? Well, I think he likely is. It's just, gut-wrenching. These predators, you know, these predators that operate within these industries. You know, if we think of, it's obviously way more than, obviously there was the whole Epstein thing, but if we just think of, the Me Too movement, but also as well, the music industry, we know about the movies as well, but music industry as well, a lot going on. And if people remember as well, what happened with Kesha, anyway, P. Diddy, let's bring the camera down. Well, yeah, beating his girlfriend and everything. But let's just see, and worse. Let's just see what's going on. Any face charges. I'm feeling like it's a yes, but let's have a look here. And then there's a question for Ohio, and then we'll look at Duck L'Orange. Well, the cards are absolutely clear. Yeah, he's gonna face account. Here he is, sort of like feeling sad for himself, heartbroken, etc. But this is also talking about how people feel about him as well. And there were those that were giving warnings, and again, thoughts out as well to Justin Bieber as well. It seems like he really was exploited and suffered a lot of abuse. If anyone is new to this, like, it's all over the internet now. But in terms of P. Diddy, oh dear, no, yeah, not good. If we look here, look what's in his obstacle position, ruin. You can see here. I mean, look, he's an extremely wealthy man. I don't think all that money is going to disappear. I think this is much more about his reputation, which, of course, it has now come out. Many people have now started to come forward with their own allegations of abuse, exploitation, etc. We've seen the videos of the beatings he gave to his girlfriend and stuff like that, and all of this other stuff. And it is rather shocking because P. Diddy is known as a very establishment big figure within the music industry, who's done a lot to popularize rap, etc. But I've been learning some stuff recently, and he's just said some really nasty stuff and done some nasty stuff. So I think this is his reputation over. But I think the career is over. Sorry, my eyes are a little bit dry here. If we look here, look, quite literally, look, judgment. I think we can literally take this card on face value as it is. So yeah, he's being judged, for his actions, the things that he's done. If we look here, this will affect his legacy. The Ten of Pentacles is often the card about legacy, but also as well establishment figures, old money, etc. I think this is speaking about P. Diddy's as a key figure of the music industry establishment. Extremely powerful man. But this is also talking as well about the legacy as well, with the judgment here next to it. And if we look here as well, I think more people will be drawn into this, because this is also the card of companionship, but also as well teaming up with others. So I think others that have been closely associated with P. Diddy could also as well be drawn in. So the question was asking about Jay-Z, etc. and stuff like that. And understand, Usher was very closely involved, and even, found Justin Bieber and all of this stuff. So what this says to me is that this isn't the end of it. And I think this is also looking at the circles connected as well. And sometimes this card can, in the shadow, connotate corruption, etc. So yeah, it looks like to me that it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good for P. Diddy. Let's see here. Let's move on to the next one. Now, what's this here? Forgive me for not reading out these out in advance. Here we are. So look, we put here. So Nick Minks has said, the 3 liberal judges have recused themselves from a lawsuit by someone called Brunson, who is trying to get the election overturned, as Alito refuses to stand down over the flag debacle. Yeah, typical, isn't it? But you remember the cards that I got for him? Yeah, you would have seen that video that I released. I think it was on Tuesday, wasn't it? A couple of days ago. It was absolutely clear. He is just working. He's literally working for the undermining of American democracy for entertainment purposes only, but I think we can figure that out. As Alito refuses to stand down over the flag debate, will this put him in a position where his inaction may lead to his ultimate removal? Well, the thing is, I'll read some cards on it, but from what I understand, I was following up on the story, and for him to be kind of recused or removed, that actually has to come from the Supreme Justices themselves. What's the likelihood that that's going to happen? Yeah. What's the likelihood that that's going to happen? So what it means is essentially they are not accountable to the law. They're essentially above the law. And Alito's saying, it wasn't me, it was my wife. What a paltry excuse. And he said, she put up the American flag upside down, and when I asked her to take it down, she refused. So it's like, oh, so you're blaming your wife now. So what, you couldn't go outside and just, pull the pulleys on the flagpole and take the flag down. And then a few years later, you're flying, what is it, that flag which has got the pine tree on it, which is what is it, in heaven, something blah, 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 which is known, which has been co-opted, they say, for insurrectionist purposes. So was that a neighbor dispute that time, that flag flying high? I saw the picture for myself. It's just utter BS, as we know. We know exactly what he stands for. But anyway, Alito, he's obviously refused to recuse himself. But let's see what else Spirit has to say about him. It's outrageous, isn't it? Oh, Pluto in Capricorn, folks. You see, all the dirt, all the corruption, it's all coming out. It's all coming out. Alito. Douchebaggery. I might get Shakespeare's opinion on this as well. Let's see what the cards say. Alito. Let's have a look. See. Oh. Well, look at that. Very interesting. All right. So here we see, look at this. Duck Laurent shows up again. As you know, he can often show up as the King of Pentacles. Sometimes for me, of course, he shows up as well as the Star. Do you remember, in terms of the shadow interpretation? But I think this is also talking about Alito himself. So if we see here, this is the King of Pentacles. This is a man who is part of the establishment, someone who's built up their wealth and their security. I think this is how Alito feels about himself. He's establishment. He knows it's a lifetime position. He's not going anywhere as far as he's concerned. Yeah, he's like, I'm one of the kings, lifetime appointment. Say what you like, but basically I'm above the law. And it would take his colleagues to essentially get him to recuse off. But what's the likelihood that that's going to happen? Unlikely. So this is the cards are tuning into his energy. Now look what turns up in the obstacle position. I think you'll find this very interesting. Here we have the Hierophant. Yeah, now as you can see here with the Hierophant, there's what you'd see here. I always, when I first was learning about this card, I thought it was two balls at his feet. It's actually the bald head of two priests. And there you see the papal keys. Yeah, so this is the Pope being celebrated by the cardinals or the priests. And of course, what does this card talk about? It talks about tradition. Yeah, it talks about tradition. It talks about rules, regulations, the things that have always stood. But this is turning up in the obstacle position, which means what? The opposite. So we see here, this is convention being turned on its head. And isn't that appropriate for the cards to let us know that? Because he has been talking about what? The flag's upside down. This card normally represents the law. So he represents what? A perversion of the law, a reversal of the laws of the land, of accepted precedent and tradition, which we've seen, Roe versus Wade, etc., all of this stuff. And he refuses to recuse himself. So this is the one-fingered salute, yeah, which is even more pertinent because he, along with the other justices, literally embodies what this card represents, which is the authority, the law. It also talks about religion and stuff like that. This can also talk about fanaticism when it's reversed. So it couldn't be clear, couldn't it? Sees himself as the King of Pentacles, the fanatic. If we look here in the middle, we have the Lovers card. Now remember, the Lovers is always about choices. But there, for me anyway, there is an economic element here when it comes. This also deals with trade, goods and services, imports and exports, and contracts of all kinds. We all know that he loves to hang around with the super wealthy who have been treating him to various different bits and bobs. So this, for me, the Lovers turning up next to the Hierophant, is talking about some of the contractual obligations that he has as a justice to others. He's made deals. Yeah, here it is. He's made deals with others. Actually, I've got to be careful to cover the old naughty bits, but hopefully the algorithm will take it down. So he's made deals. Yeah, for him, him, establishment, wealthy figure, but this is also talking about the wealthy that support him, turning the rules upside down on the conventions of law because of the deals that he's made, yeah, the lovers, and he's just sitting around waiting to what? See a return on his investments, the Seven of Pentacles, which I often refer to this card as the card of ROI, return on investment. For him, it's money. And it's just, do you know what I mean? It's just, ugh. Anyway, if we look here, for him, he gets the outcome card of the Fool. So what this now, one of the things to understand about the Fool represents many things at the same time. On a certain level, it can literally represent foolishness on the most basic interpretation, or it can represent that leap of faith, like we saw, like for Mexico and stuff like that. But also as well, the Fool can be heedless of danger. Yeah, remember here, the little dog here, his companion, is on his hind legs, prepared to go with the Fool, but is also warning the Fool potentially of a fall, of a drop, falling from a high place. So here you see the Fool's head is lifted up in the air. And this is why this card is about faith, maybe kind of the universe having your back. But it could also deal with not wanting to or overlooking obvious dangers, even a whiff of either naivety or perhaps arrogance. Yeah, so this card could suggest maybe there is a fall coming that maybe he doesn't see. We will have to see. But thanks so much for the question. Let's see what else is here. Let's rattle through these. So there's that. Did P. Diddy, Mexico done. Let's see here. Neptune, Donny hit temperature, Brunson lawsuit back. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, from Nick Mix, it says here, is the Brunson lawsuit? Didn't we just deal with something, Brunson? Oh, right. Okay, but this an elaboration. Is the Brunson lawsuit that is back from the Supreme Court set up involving the 2025 group aiming to undermine America, as 3 liberal justices have recused themselves? All right. Well, let's see what the Project 2025 group is about, and let's get Shakespeare's opinion. So Project 25, yeah, 2025, from what I understand, is the conglomerate of various factions of some of the most right wing of the right wing in American politics, but lobbying groups, etc., to basically bring about, the way I interpret it, is Gilead. You know, many people are saying that. So let's just read on them and see what their energy is. It's a slightly repeated question, but slightly rephrased. So let's read on their energy, and then let's see what the Shakespeare has to say about the people or the energies of 2020, Project 2025. What are the energies, Spirit? Let's have a look. God, it's all coming out the wash, isn't it? All coming out the wash, folks. Pluto doing his work. Okay, Project 2025. What's the energy around that? What's the energy around that? And then after this, let's read on Duck L'Orange. Project 2025. What's the energy around that? Interesting. Yes. Yes. Okay. Project 2025. The energy around it, 2 of Wands. Now remember, 2s are always about making choices and decisions and stuff like that. So if we look here we see here is the Merchant looking out at the world. So this can also be illustrative of ambition. Yeah. Project 2025 isn't just looking at the small picture. They have bigger ambitions, because look, the guy is holding a globe. So they're looking to encompass something in its totalitarian, in its totality. See, I almost said totalitarian there, which is, I think, you know, a kind of a slip there, which denotes quite a lot of what they're about. So what it means is, to me, is that their ambitions, 2020, Project 2025 is just the beginning of their ambitions, which they want to have as something all-encompassing, certainly for all America. But this would also suggest as well that they're probably getting international and global support for their fundings. Yeah, because remember, this is talking about the whole energy of those involved in the project. So there'll be domestic people in America, but also international connections as well, as this card here suggests. So they have international plans, international support, but it's like this vision. Maybe it's part of a vision, a wider vision for the whole globe, but certainly for America. If we look at what's in the obstacle position, yeah, you don't want the High Priestess showing up here in that obstacle position. So we can consider the card reversed. The positive interpretations of this, when you're talking to ordinary people, of course, is someone kind of developing their spirituality, going further. You know, they're starting to read, you know, maybe religious or spiritual books, or they're just working on the higher, more divine energies. But it's turned up in the obstacle position. We can consider it reversed. When it's reversed, the manipulation of this card becomes even more pronounced. So this is talking about extreme machinations, manipulations, and plans. This card can even have a predatory nature to it. The shadow of the High Priestess really is quite dark indeed. So when you put that together, yeah, we have here them with these ambitions, with international support, something for all-encompassing the world, let alone America, if we were to take this literally. But they have huge plans which are of a predatory, clandestine and dodgy sort. Yeah, they want Gilead at the end of the day. I think they've made it quite clear. If we look in the middle, look what's in the middle. Look, Five of Swords, which is an abuse of power. So they're prepared to abuse their power once they get it. We all know what they want to do with women's rights, etc., and all of this kind of stuff. And you know, I always feel it's important to respect people's free will, even if you don't necessarily agree. There will still be people that will vote for Trump, of course. They will, because they believe a lot of, you know, a lot of stuff. Let's just put it that way. But understand that if he gets in, like, for me, the more dangerous is the Project 25. Yeah, Trump is the stooge who's being exploited, you know, for that. I mean, obviously he's just a ne'er-do-well himself, but in terms of the bigger picture, remember here, this is a global ambition, yeah, and there's international money involved in this. Dark Orange is the figurehead that they've selected, they think is the best one, but we see here with the machinations and plans, he's just a tool, a vehicle for them to abuse their power. Yeah. If you look here, they're feeling pretty smug about things, yeah, so far. I mean, we'll have to see how they respond to the news. And of course, unfortunately, if Dark Orange isn't locked up, then if he's still on the ballot, do you know what I mean? We just have to see. Yeah, we have to see what Venus brings in September, end of August, September, to see how it's going to manifest. Is Venus going to give him a reprieve and keep him out of prison? Or will it send him to jail because she is in the 12th house? That remains to be seen. But this group is feeling very self-satisfied and smug. And here we see again, it's all about the money. This is here the page of cups. Pages are always about messages. Really and truly underneath this it's all about money. It's all about tax breaks for the super rich, etc. All of this stuff. And that is really the motivation, I would say, underneath it all. There's self-satisfaction, tax breaks, abusing their power, using clandestine methods in which to do so, but they also probably have support from other factions around the world. So, you know, it is serious. Let's see what the Bard has to say about Project 25. And then we're going to focus on Duck Orange with that news that's coming. I'll read through a few more of your comments. All right, what does the Bard think of Project 25? It's back here. So, oh, How interesting. Look at, you see, the bard never fails. Listen to this and think about the reading I just gave. Thou art sick in the world's regard. Do you remember the guy was holding the globe in his hand? Thou art sick in the world's regard, wretched and low, a poor, unminded outlaw sneaking home. Henry V. And look what's on the next page. From the extremest upward of thy head to the descent and dust beneath thy foot, a most toad spotter traitor. King Lear. They're treacherous, yeah? They're treacherous. They put themselves across as being for America, but it's not. It's treachery. They're just in it for themselves and they just want to abuse their power. Thou art sick in the world's regard, wretched and low, a poor, unminded outlaw sneaking home, says it all. Henry V. The bard never fails. All right, Duck Clarange. Let's talk about Duck Clarange. Let me just make sure I've ticked off that one. And let's scroll down through the comments and see what else you guys have had to say here. Let's have a look here. Angela Locke saying, break out the champagne. Well, maybe not just yet. I don't know when they're going to make the verdict, but as you know, I've said for a long time, look, basically, I'd be pleasantly surprised if he's actually put behind bars. We'll have to see if they go that far. But at least he has been found guilty, which is accountability, of course, of sorts, which is progress. Yeah, progress. But for me, for it to be really, really real, he needs to be, you know, under the clink, under the clink. Let's see here. Let's see. And then Mary Eppersons, it's cool, Hoagie. We're all giddy celebrating. Well, at least it is accountability now. And it's so interesting with the timing. You remember I've been banging on about this for ages. I said October 2023, when he went into his K2 Jupiter, I said K2 would, you know, will bring accountability and separate him from his money and stuff like that. Obviously, you got a cheeky reprieve from the $500 million, yeah, but it was still a sizable chunk. And now he's been found guilty, but we still need to see what Venus will bring, guys. Remember that, what Venus will bring. We'll have to see if Venus puts him in the clink. I think for me, it's probably more likely to be hospital, you know, to be honest. That's what I've seen, or exile. Remember I said he might try and make a run for it, but they say, oh, you know, his faculties are getting worse. We'll have to see. Dana Masak saying, hey, yeah, party time, celebrate justice. Yes, justice at last. So after this show, I'm going to then take a look at the TV and see what they're reporting on the news. Yeah, I would prefer to see Trump receive all 4 years as a sentence. Let's see if the law will oblige. And then maybe I clicked on this. Or yes, guilty. Oh yes, always have strength and joy. I clicked on that before. 3 Treasures says, yep, Trump guilty on all 34 counts. I mean, that's just damning, isn't it? I mean, how do you dress that up, huh? How are the evangelicals gonna dress that up? Yeah. It's just start. What times we live in, eh? What times? After the verdict. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Lynette Ray says, after the verdict, he has the right to appeal, and he will. Of course he will. But Americans have to celebrate such a win. This will change some minds in terms of the election. Yes, I think more so with the independents. Like I said before, those that are rusted on, as Lena would say, you know, they're not going anywhere. It's more to do with the independents. And people really do have to ask themselves now, can they in good conscience vote for someone who is now a convicted felon and was found guilty on all counts? So, you know, again, like I said, this is a challenge about values, isn't it? Oh, look, someone says here, Seattle Roller Derby fan says, I have been in the front of my house in the middle of the street dancing with my 2020 Biden campaign outside. Good for you. Patricia says, Trump's passport can be revoked now. Right. Yeah, they should have. Yeah, they should have taken that, take that away. Someone saying, Green Goddess is saying, can't wait till he is in jail. That remains to be seen. Yeah, that remains to be seen. But I think his health, which is already, you remember I said as well, when he goes into his Jupiter Venus dasher, do you remember I said his health, and he's in actually quite a lot of danger. I would suspect now his health, which is already sketchy, will probably deteriorate quite quickly, particularly as the months go on, particularly when he gets closer to that Jupiter Venus dasher, which will be tricky because Jupiter and Venus are not friends. So, you know, it's, and she sits in the 12th house. Anyway, let's see here. Orange is the new orange. Yeah, could be a jumpsuit coming soon. Says Ivana is smiling from the grave. Yeah, could well be. Could well be. She gave a lot to Duck L'Orange. Let's just see here. After Crook, let's see here. Let's go after all the crooks now, including the government. Yes. So what I'm seeing now, do you see what's happening now, folks? Pluto in sidereal Capricorn is bringing up and out all of the dirt and the gubbins, the muck. You've heard me say before, Pluto represents the worst. He can represent amazing things, but he represents very much the shadow of humanity. Government, institutions, people in power. Yes, so this is all starting to emerge. But now we also see there's some accountability because Saturn is in sidereal Aquarius, and Saturn is a planet of accountability. And I did say, I said, when Saturn moved on the 17th of January, 2023, into sidereal Aquarius, I said there will be more accountability, even for Duck L'Orange. I'll have to try and attach it in some of my old videos. And you can see that for yourself, but you guys know that already. You've been watching me for a while. So now we see it. We see, look, the likes of P. Diddy is going to have to start facing stuff. So there's going to be more stuff, guys. Just get ready for more of the revelations, because what happens is these things start as a trickle, then it becomes a river, then it becomes a flood. Look what's emerging about, you know, Keir Starmer in terms of Labour. You know, like this is just weeks out from election, and he's going on this rabid purge. But the way he's targeting, literally targeting, well, you know, women, you know, black women, Asian women, you know, people of color, and also as well looking like sexuality as well, because there is an MP, he's gay, and he has been removed because they've found some, again, some tweet that he liked or something like that. He's been removed, and some more right-winger has just been helicoptered in, just like that, for nothing. It's extraordinary. But this, again, Pluto is showing, but let's focus on the positive as well. What are the positives of Pluto? Pluto's positives are transformation, mea culpa, alchemy, magic, shamanism, the ability to be able to integrate the shadow and thus not be fooled by the illusions of others. Yeah, let's pull on Duck L'Orange and see what's going to be happening for him next. Oh, look at that. Do you see that? This is symbolizing, look, Four of Wands. That can symbolize the White House. So you see here, Spirit's wanting to talk about Duck L'Orange in regards to the White House. Let's see in what context. Will the cards be positive, neutral, or negative? Let's have a look. Let's see what Spirit wants to say about the White House. You just saw that, didn't you? You just saw it just flipped out. White House. Let's see what Spirit's saying. Duck L'Orange. He will appeal, of course, as you know. Remember as well, some of those justices are always wanting to help him out. So don't hold your breath on jail just yet. But celebrate, yes, this, but jail, let's see. But let's see what the cards have to say. Let's see what the cards have to say. In what context, Spirit, is this White House in regard to Duck Larange? Let's see. Interesting. Interesting. All right. As you know, I say what I see. This isn't over yet. Yeah. This is Dr. Larange, obviously using every tool that he's got in the book to try and get out of this. Yeah, so he's obviously going to appeal. Yeah, we know this. This is a given. He's obviously going to appeal. He's going to use every single tool and faculty that he can to appeal and try and get his way. But look at what's in the obstacle position. Here it is the Four of Cups. So again, this is not liking the options that are on the table. Yeah, this cup, and this cup is not satisfactory, but there's one coming out here. But we can also consider it reversed. When it's the right way up, this can also deal with deep thought, meditation, and contemplation. So obviously he's got a lot to think about. But here, when it's reversed, it loses more of that positive quality. This can also talk about, kind of, feeling down, feeling depressed about something, really, really not liking the options on the table, and really not being able to see what maybe a potential way out. So do you see, he's still gonna fight his absolute best, because obviously that he doesn't want to go to jail. So he's obviously going to appeal or whatever and do whatever shenanigans he can. He's probably obviously thinking of Supreme Court and probably ringing up his friend Justice Alito, yeah, for entertainment purposes only. However, if we see here, look, we've got the Queen of Cups here, which deals with creativity and all of that stuff, sensitivity, etc. But look, in here, she has her cup of secrets. So what this says to me is he's going to use secret means of manipulation to try and get what he wants. Yeah, he wants to keep himself out of jail, free and happy. Yeah, but this is also talking about money as well. Now, let's not forget too, yeah, in general, the Nine of Pentacles can be seen as a positive card, but we're talking about Duck Larange here. Let's not forget the other things. This card can also be referred to as the courtesan, or the one that sells out. Yeah. Do you know what? The Queen of Cups can talk about secrets. This card talks about money and income, and the shadow of it, because remember we're talking about Duck Larange here, so it's obviously going to be the shadow. The shadow of this card is prostitution. I think this is talking about the secrets that he sold. And look here, the outcome card is the Page of Swords, which can sometimes be known as the enemy in the camp, or can do with slander and gossip. Do you know what could happen is that more could emerge about what he sold to other countries, or he's gonna prostitute something or someone to keep himself out of prison, or try to. Because this can talk about being bought, which could also talk about bribes, secrets, getting desperate, using everything he can to avoid, yeah, the sadness and the difficulty that he now finds himself in. Let's keep watching this space. Justice so far so good. Should have come a lot sooner, but the story's not done yet. I would say that he's gonna try all sorts of shenanigans, and I think he's gonna be doing trading, you know, selling things behind. Yeah. Not sure how much he's going to do. He's been found guilty now, hasn't it? So I mean, it's like, you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But there's legs on this. There's legs on this. Right. Let's just have a quick read, and then can you believe it? God, the hours gone around. Got to remember, what's this? Cheryl Simpson says, got to remember that, as Naomi Klein said, he's been dealing with Steve Bannon. They did say they wanted to cause harm for over 100 years, to be prepared for that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. It's not done yet. It's like, I've said it before, but it's worth repeating. Believe it or not, Donald Duck LaRange is not the head vampire on this one. Yeah, if the state gets driven by his, what is the toxicity that is relieved? It's more, if we think of the Project 25 type persons and that kind of movement, which they've showed up as well in the cards. You can see their ambitions. Duck LaRange is one of their puppets, but the second that he's not useful, they'll drop him, and they'll go for something. There's someone else, and he's probably slightly less useful now than he was, shall we say, a few hours ago. Yeah. Yeah. Mona Ray says he'll try and prostitute himself. Yeah, good luck with that. Someone's saying it's just tragic and sad. Yeah, it's what times we live in, eh? What times? And then someone's also saying for entertainment purposes only. So yeah, we can see here. And someone's saying, yes, more please, which I suppose was that. Let's just pull. I see I've gone slightly over. Let's just pull. I'm going to ask about his health. Yeah. I'm going to ask about his health. Because for me, it's that when I just tune in with the energies, I feel like it's more, he's deteriorating a lot already. But I think with this, with the guilty thing, and with Venus being in the 12th house, which also deals with hospitals, not just prison, or it could even be both. Could even be both. But let's just see. What's Duck LaRange's health now that he has been found guilty? How will this impact on his health? If we see the 7 of Cups, which deals with illusion and delusion, that means he's basically, he'll lose his mind. But we'll see. I don't want to preempt. Oh, you see that? Stinky fish just fell out. Wow. All right. Let's pull some more cards. Wow, the card's really jumping today. All right, let's pull some more. Duck LaRange's health now that he's been found guilty on all 34 counts. Harder to explain that away now, isn't it, folks? Isn't it? Well, look at this. This is a card of cray cray as well. All right. Trump's health now that he's been found guilty. As you know, Page of Cups. Now look how many cups have come out. Yeah, one of each. The only ones that didn't come out was the Page of Wands. But look, Page of Cups here, and you know I call this card Stinky Fish. Yeah, this can deal with abrupt surprises or unsettling messages, the unexpected. You know, basically an unpleasant message, which he's just had, isn't he? He's just been found guilty on all 34 accounts. So this is obviously going to be shocking his and rocking his world a little bit. Be very interesting to see what the niece has to say. Yeah. Mary Trump, yeah, I'm sure she'll probably have a few things to say about this. So if we see here a rude surprise for Duck LaRange, we look what's turned up in his obstacle position. He gets the Hermit here. Hermit is about deep research, but can also mean retreat, confinement, going into one's cell to cogitate, yeah, look over things, deep research. But of course, this is in the reversal position, which can deal with paranoia, depression, feeling like the whole world is out to get you. Yeah, so this is how Duck LaRange is feeling. Yeah, he's feeling distraught at this message that he's just revealed. He's still going to fight, of course, you know, so he's going to appeal. Here he is. Look how many times this card has turned up today as well. I think this is the third time. You see how much I shuffle and it still comes up. So this is Duck Larange here on his hill, trying to defend himself from all directions here. Yeah, because of course, what's happened. But look, the law. Yeah. Queen of Swords, the law has spoken. Here she is with her sword of truth and justice, implacable. So he may appeal and try and defend, but it may be fruitless. Yeah, she's sitting here. Once that is the case, and if his appeals fail, then he could just totally lose the plot. Yeah, the Moon card is a tricky card. Very rarely does it have a positive connotation, but this can deal with, like, it can deal with mental health issues, but it can also deal with sickness as well and just not being right. What this says to me is he's had this terrible message, which is a hammer blow for him. Hammer blow for him. He's going to try and defend himself, of course, with appeals, but the law stands in the way again. Yeah. And then I think that's when he loses the plot. Yeah, goes full lunatic. And remember as well, Duck Larange was born on a lunar eclipse. On a lunar eclipse. So I think the wheels might. Well, we'll see what that Venus brings. But when I look at the cards and when we think of the context of his guilt now, it's looking to me more likely that a health scenario is probably going to turn up for Duck Larange. And this is what I was getting before we even had the guilty verdict today. And that also aligns up with the dashes that he's in. But that's his outcome card, the Moon. Yeah, there. Crispy Duck Larange. All coming back. Accountability. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I have to leave it there because I've gone a little bit over now, 6 minutes over. Thank you so much for all the love and the support and the comments. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much as well for all of the wonderful reviews as well for the book. If you're interested, it is linked below. Very interesting, that, isn't it? So I'll see you back, of course, this Saturday for Hergely. We're also going to have Sheila from Celtic Tarot is going to be back with us next week. I hope you found that interesting. Quite interesting, that, isn't it? But yeah, Duck Larange, man. Crispy Duck Larange. Accountability. Saturn in Aquarius. Pluto in Capricorn, all of the dirt and gubbins coming up. The mask falling away. I will leave it there. Thanks so much for the support. I'll stop jabbering on now. And I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks so much. Mwah! Big love.